My sister-in-law is dying of cancer, ruining my wedding and my wife's life, and we are completely cutting off my wife's family. I'm marrying my partner, A, who is from another country. Her sister, B, is dying of cancer. It is heartbreaking. She is a young mother and wife. Her diagnosis was about 4 years ago. When she was first diagnosed, she was given 1 to 2 years. Since we were in a different country, as she, B, remained in her home country with her family after her sister, A, immigrated, we saved up some money and traveled to say goodbye to her. It was about the 1.5-year mark when we went to say goodbye, and we had gotten engaged soon beforehand. So we also went over to visit some of the family and asked them how long they needed to save to come across for our wedding, as our dollar is much stronger than theirs. They said 2 years, so that was agreed. We spent a month with her, laughing, lamenting, spending as much quality time as possible with her. By the end of the trip, though, and with the chemo, she was exhausted. We said our heart-breaking goodbyes, assuming to never see her again. And then she made a miraculous recovery, with a less than 1% chance of happening, which was awesome. We, along with her other family members who had also immigrated, such as her father and brother, decided to put money together and support her to move over here to spend the rest of her life with us. That was about a year ago. Now my partner and I are getting married in 2 weeks. All of her family are coming to visit. It's a big joyous occasion with lots of travel. We forked out thousands to help her family get here, and they're all staying for a month or so to celebrate our wedding and spend time with us. 2 weeks ago, B got a bad diagnosis. They found lumps, and they said she has about a year left to live. She, for obvious reasons, didn't handle this well and lashed out at us and our wedding, telling us not to talk about it around her. My partner has always kind of lived in her older sister's shadow, so she was really excited to be celebrated and made a fuss up for once. But B has told everyone about her diagnosis and has started saying, "This is the last time I will see most of you." Now the focus is completely off my partner and our wedding, and is absolutely about B. I feel heartless and heartbroken, but I'm frustrated by this. She has been going out of her way to make sure the people who are coming across, who we have paid thousands for flights, not that it matters that much, are spending as much time with her as possible, as this is the last time she will see them. Now this period of joy and celebration has an undeniable black cloud hung over it, and people very obviously have stopped making my partner feel special. On top of this, B has maintained her stance that we not talk about our wedding around her. But the big issue is that B got married during COVID, so never got a father-daughter dance. She wants to have one at our wedding, after my partner has a father-daughter dance, with her own song, which, to be honest, sad as F***ck. I have said no, because my partner wanted to say no but felt too guilty, so I had to be the bad guy. I also told my partner that if we're not to talk about our wedding around her sister, then I don't want her sister talking about her dying around us. Now I'm being called an asshole. I do absolutely feel like one, but I also feel like this is grossly unfair to ask us to brush our wedding under the carpet because of this. Update. Well, the wedding went off without a hitch. We've had a major problem since. Feels like season 2 of a frigging soap opera. My SIL is dying of cancer. Recently my partner and I got married, and SIL made the whole process as difficult as possible. While we were visiting family the other day, I was relaxing on a couch which sits below a ledge in a lounge, so you couldn't see me from the dining room. I was there with wife and wife's family, but older SIL didn't realize I had come with. My partner and her little sister, not the same SIL, came into the dining area in tears and sat down next to their mom. Before they could say anything, older SIL came in and talked to them with a venom I had never seen. She was shouting at them and talking to them like they were children, telling them to never dare walk away from her again during an argument. There was a viciousness at a level that I'd never tolerate being spoken to like from anyone. The argument happened because we had come to pick up the nephew, son of older SIL, from school so that SIL could rest. I'll give more info on this fighting comment. Older SIL told her family it's a privilege for them to babysit her child, and that if they're going to try and help, then they need to do it how she asks, when she asks. She spoke to my wife like she was scum several levels below her. When I stood up, an older SIL saw me. She jumped with shock and then immediately stormed out of the room. I stood up and said, "We're leaving?" In the car, I said to my wife that if SIL ever spoke to her like that again, there would be harsh, firm boundaries put in place. Later, we received a message from SIL's husband saying we were being selfish and making the whole family visit about us and our wedding, which was what it was originally about when everyone planned to come. They were visiting for our wedding. The problem is that this has been happening for months, and I feel like an idiot because when my wife told me about it, she downplayed it. SIL's family all keep saying, "She's dying, it's affecting her mind," or "Let's just move past it so we can enjoy the time we have left with her." And SIL's treatment of my wife has gotten worse, and worse and worse. SIL keeps trying to convince people not to spend time with us while they're here. She exempts herself from family plans and then makes new plans excluding my wife, and tells people my wife is being greedy with others' company. My wife came home yesterday in tears saying she had considered driving her car off a bridge because of how much SIL has broken her heart. My wife went to say goodbye to one of her uncles who was flying out, and SIL apparently did the same thing as the day before but worse, according to a couple of the witnessing family members. I had to hold her while she sobbed uncontrollably for 15 minutes, asking me why her sister was doing this to her when all she had done was try to love her. This is the part that may make me an AH. I put a message into the group chat I'm in with her immediate family saying, to cut a long story short, I will not talk to any of you until you start to hold SIL accountable for her actions. Any promises of unifying our families was a lie until SIL apologizes and shows she's going to cut this SHD out. That my wife's unrelenting kindness is being exploited for weakness. That my wife is psychologically unsafe around her own family. That I swore in my vows to protect my wife. And that I have no interest in being a part of a family who treat each other like this. I said I'd be leaving the conversation. I don't want anyone to contact me unless it's to apologize to my partner and explain how things will be different moving forward, and not to add me into any group conversations. I blocked any form of contact access that SIL had. My wife didn't want me to send the message because she didn't want to make things worse. I told her things were being made worse by her family's unwillingness to call out SIL because she's dying. And my partner told me I can do what I feel I need to do, but her family will be upset with me. Now they've called a family meeting, and I've refused to go until my wife is apologized to, and the family outright promised to hold her sister accountable. Her family are all very upset at me for saying what I said about our two families joining, and that I'm being harsh to SIL who is dying. My own family think I'm being too harsh, except my dad and older brother who think I'm making the right choice.